again, viewers. You're welcome to another episode of the Now Show. I'm your regular host, Abosede Oza Osho, and today's episode, oh my world, it gives me so much excitement. My sister, my friend, Fatima Ada Ishaku, she's got a story and she's here with me today. Fatima, you're welcome to the Now Show.
Oh, thank you for having me. I've been waiting for this.
You've been waiting for it.
Yes. So
and today's
finally.
our title, finally, we're doing this,
yes,
finally.
Thank
and our
you for
title is I Call Him Dad. And you'll see in a minute why it's titled so. Well, Fatima, your story. You called him Dad.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
My name is Fatima Ada Ishaku. My mom is from Abia. My biological dad is from Kebbi. My stepdad is from Kogi. So I grew up with a man that I thought was my dad, but I never knew he wasn't my dad till at the age of 14. Okay. I answer his name today. My biological dad name is Mohammed. And the name I answer today is Ishaku. And Ishaku is the man that defied me at the age of 5.
Wow.
At the age of 5, he was using his finger on me. And at the age of 7, that was when the rape started.
Fatima, 5 years old.
Yes. I remember because he said to me that, you're 5. You're going to be 5 in a few days. And when you tell your mother anything that happened here, I'm going to kill your mother. And you know, a child mind is very easy to manipulate.
Definitely,
so whatever you tell the child stays. And when you put that fear in that child, and but at the age of 7, the abuse, that was when the rape started. I think probably he was trying to expand me with his hand.
In readiness for?
Yes, for what he's about to do to me. And the rape continued, and it was one of the most painful experience. I don't wish for anybody, and it continued, and I couldn't bear the pains anymore, and it got to a point I started fighting. I became very stubborn, and but I couldn't tell my mother. You know, when you love your mother so much, and you just like, okay, if I tell my mother what happened, my mother died.
So at that time, you knew this was wrong.
No, at the initial stage, I didn't know it was wrong. I was just thinking about the pains I was going through. Not just thinking that it's wrong. All that was in my mind was pain. Why is it doing this to me?
Painful?
Yes. And why is it telling me not to tell my mother? I would not tell my mother. I would die. He will kill me and he'll kill my mother. So that was just all I was just thinking about. It wasn't what he's doing to me, is it wrong or not? So he continued, and I started running away from the house from the age of 10, 11.
Wow.
I started running away from the house, and he made my mother hate me so much. And so when I tried to tell my mother, and she would just push me away. And because she thought I just changed, I just became that stubborn girl. And she just pushed me, and she always uses Igbo language and Sheba Aponyin Zuzu, that where were you this useless girl?
Wow.
And so many times she would break my head, cut my vagina, put pepper, and because when the man
was your mother?
Yes. Because when the husband wanted to defile me and I start fighting, when he beats me, and when she come back, she will ask me, why did you beat Patty this way? You just say, well, I saw her kissing a boy.
Oh dear.
And my mother would just bounce on me, cut my. I have healed. But there's something when I see, it still reminds me of what I went through, and this is the mark that my mother gave to me. And then she gave me this mark. She told me that you should bleed to death. I should bleed to death. And she never took me to the hospital. The only thing that she gave me Panadol. And it was her neighbor that took cloth, wrapped my hand. The only thing she did, she soaked my hand in the basin. I was bleeding. She didn't care. She didn't know I was being defied by her husband.
You know, your mom is not here. I don't make an excuse for her. But mothers can go to the extreme sometimes. Because hearing you talk, she thought she was disciplining you.
No, she was
having
yes. she was believing what he told. What
Yes.
I used to be this very. If I have a child,
Yes.
I think I will, even my niece and nephew, I know when they change. And when they try to do that, I say, this is not, you don't do it anymore.
Okay.
Then you're my mother. You have this calm girl that just sits one place and just, I'm always calm. And later
all of a sudden,
she became aggressive. And this is a sign that parents
don't look out
for. And I became very stubborn, very, very aggressive. And I fight. So I go to school, I will fight. I always have uniform in the tailor. I always have money. Because I used to sell things also.
Okay.
She gave me money to sell my own stuff.
Okay.
So I always have extra cloth in the tailor. So they'll make my cloth there. Because I'll fight in school, they will tear my cloth. That is not in my book. I'm putting this
so
in the second book.
You were lashing out at the wall.
Aggressive. Yes. I only have few friends. And because she doesn't understand. And the only place I find comfort was sports. And that is where I put my pains, because you can't beat me. When it's time of running, you can't beat me. No matter how fast you are. Because that is just where I put my pain. So I do a lot of sport for my school and stuff like that. But she didn't want to understand that something is going on.
So at least you had something to put your pain in.
Yes.
Which was running.
Yes.
So that you put passion and drive into it, because that took your mind off the abuse, the molestation.
It didn't take away the abuse. That moment, I'm beating that run. That run, I'm like, it looked like, okay, I'm beating the child because the child is stubborn. Yes. So that running for me became like something that I can beat. This is the only thing I can beat. This is the only thing I can talk to. This is the only friend I have. This is the only place I can put my pain. So that I just want to run. So that time that I'm running, I'm not thinking. I run for my school, and I always confess, even when I go for inter-house sport. That time that I'm running, I just want to win.
There's nothing else on your mind.
Yes, I just want to
winning.
Other than winning. So I'm beating that running. I just want to win. I just want to beat you. If you're in front of me, I just want to beat you. I just want to put the whole pain there. I just want to put my whole pain. And when I come back home and she's downstairs selling market, when I go home and I went to bath, I have to take my thing to the bathroom to change. Because when he see my body, he wants to defile me again. And when he beats me, I start crying. My mother will run upstairs. Why did you beat her? She enter, she didn't beat me. And she will believe him. So many times I tried to commit suicide. So many times. I tried. So at the age of 14, I just feel God just want to just save me. And do a run of supplies for her in the morning. And that day, an officer bought something and he gave me a larger note. And I think I didn't have change for him. When I think I'll come back. When I came back, I went to the field to do sport. So I had to wait. When he came back, he gave me the money and I went home. My mother will always wait for me to go to school. Then she wants to go to her market. She traveled a lot and she go to this Mushi market also.
Yes.
So that day she just locked the door. The kitchen in the barrack, this happened in the army barrack. The kitchen is always outside the house. Just put my uniform, but she didn't pin this thing. No food, no nothing. So what I did, I just took Gary, put sugar inside, tie in the nylon. Not how children we used to do that. I just open the mouth. That was what I just do. Then I have to lock the kitchen to secure my sales. Went to school when I came back that day. My younger ones, two of them greeted her. She answered them. She didn't answer me. If they have a take-home assignment, they said, no, okay, go and bath, eat your food. You, Patty, stay there. I stand. When they finished, students will come out. She now locked the door, but it's just a room and a parlor and a big barcode.
Yes.
He said, so, enter, he went to say, you're doing this thing that is just like this table there. Then she had a big cane on the table and she had a little shot of glass of shot. And she said to me, say, so you've been going about. I started to say, no, pull your dress and lie down. Okay. But immediately that she said that word, it clicked to me what her husband said to me when he first defied me. And she heard that case. I said, lie down. It got to the point I was used to beating, but I was so scared of the cane. Wow. And I just lie down and she's, open your leg. I said, what is it you want to put inside of me? He said, it's water. One thing with my mother will never lie to me. So I opened my leg, she poured the water and she shouted, oh, Chineke. Hey, I want to know virgin. So we're a virgin that daughter that I thought is a virgin
Wow.
is not a virgin. So you're not a virgin.
Okay, so that was a test. She was testing your virginity.
Yes. That was when she found out that I was not a virgin.
Wow.
And why? Because I stayed late. I didn't come back home on time. And she now held the cane and wanted to hit me. I was almost 14. That was when I held the cane. And I look at my mother. I've never looked at my mother and said, don't hit me. I say, if I tell
because you had become rebellious.
I say, if I tell you, you will die, and I will die. I won't tell you. I've been trying to tell you, but you keep pushing me.
Wow.
You mark my hand. I say, remember the day I told you that when you cut my hand, I said to you, I say, the day you will find out the truth about what they are telling you about me is a lie, you cry your life out. I say, yes, the truth today. I tell you, it was daddy. Yeah, daddy. I say, our daddy, my daddy.
Did she fall down?
She just put her hand on her head. I said, Chineke, Pati, are you telling me the truth? I said, yes. Oh, we speak Igbo Hausa in my house.
Yes.
That's why we speak the both language. So,
yes.
Pati, I say, yes. You know, she now say, my God. I said, so many times in your presence, I try to commit suicide. I'll take extra dose and just want to die. And she was like, okay, go and bath. Go and eat.
At least she believed you.
Yes. Don't say anything to anybody. My mom knew that I would never lie to her.
Yes.
I grew up not knowing how to lie. So that's what I always want to...
Because you have cases where you hear the victims actually saying that they were not protected by their mothers.
No, they were not.
Especially when it's even a stepfather.
Yeah.
That the mother would rather look at her marriage and want to keep her marriage than
the girl.
Believe the daughter.
Say, you know what? Stay in the house. Someday bear it. Someone will tell you to bear it that someday you're going to get married and go.
When your home is not safe.
Because I know a girl, I was the one that told her run away from the house. Her mother would enter and see her husband defiling her daughter and tell her to bear it. So I told her run away from the house. Till I left the barrack, I don't know where I get is this today.
Wow.
So it's just a thing that I went through, and when all this why I never knew that he was not my dad.
Can I ask you a question, Fati? How can a parent know when their home is not safe for their child?
The thing with parents, the thing now is people, let me just use general terms, a lot of young girls, a lot of matured girls, but you think you're 40, you're 50, society pressure, you want to get married. It's just anybody that just anybody that's available at that moment, you just want to get married to that person. Because of the pressure of society and family. Yes. You don't check the criminal background of that person. You don't check his mental health. And mostly a single mother. Yes.
Anyone who does that definitely must be up there.
A single mother, you bring your child into a home. You should know your child as a mother that if you have a stubborn child, you know that this child is stubborn naturally. And a stubborn child that has been defied will later become calm and always scared.
Yes.
And when you have
a calm
child,
so the opposite usually happens.
Yes. And children always want to give you a sign that something is going wrong here. Let me use an example. Children always confide in something, and that is drawing. Children love to play with color, like drawing. And most times you see a child will just draw mother, angel, maybe daddy, a monster.
Oh dear.
The mother will come and start beating that child.
Why did you draw your father as a monster?
Or your uncle as a monster? You need to sit your child down and find out from your child why.
What makes you view your father as a monster?
Yes. A child that is telling you the truth always look at you in the eyes. The child will not, when it says, yes, mommy, I didn't do it, you will know your child is telling you the truth. A child that is telling you lies will not look at you in the eyes, will be shaking.
Wow.
So you will not ask your child why you draw this person as a monster. The next thing, you start beating that child. And I have a little girl that called me yesterday. I won't mention her name. And she saw my video I did. She traced my Facebook, went to my website and called me. And she said to me, she sent me a message, I have it on my phone. She said, I want to talk to you.
Sorry, Fatima, I need to let the viewers know. By the way, Fatima has put into a book everything that she went through. And that's the book. I called
him Dad. It wasn't easy putting this though in the book. It was a very traumatic experience.
I can imagine.
2016, I was discovered by an American professor in America. I went for my friend movie premiere, The Benevolent, Torichinasa. I went for a movie premiere, and there was another actress that came for her. Also, Doris Simon came for her own movie premiere also. And that movie has to do with malaria and child abuse, where her father defied her. She became pregnant.
Wow.
Question and answer. Our parents in diaspora are not talking about the rape. They were talking about only the malaria. Malaria is killing our children in Nigeria. What are you going to do about it? And me as a victim, I became pale.
Wow.
I like, when will this thing stop? Why? This is not all about malaria.
Where's malaria? When we're talking
this
the issue of rape and molestation.
Raise my hand. Then the owner of the art gallery where they are having it on Putin said, "You give me the mic." And I said, "I'm sorry, I'm not trying to disrespect you, but this movie is not all about malaria. That's the two important things, malaria, but there's something more
deeper than malaria.
Yes, that is the rape." They look at me. Even our parents in diaspora, if you're shying away from the truth, how can we victim talk?
It's so sad that people think that rape and molestation should actually be behind closed doors topic, but which should not be, because a lot of people are suffering.
They are suffering, and
especially
and the only place you can get healing is by speaking out.
Yes.
Imagine me, the victim that called me when she told her mother that her brother was raping her. Her brother was raping her. Her mother said to her, "Useless girl, you're enjoying it."
Her mother's brother, her uncle.
Yes. Another one again, I was doing a radio show then, and a little girl called me. I had to call her father. Because when she told her mother beat her. Wow. Her father's husband was raping her. So I told her, "Give me your father's number." I called the father. And I told the father, I said, "You know what the father said? Why would you call stranger and tell us?" Well, I asked my brother says it's a lie. That's just where it ended. And she called me. I said, "If you don't have prayer, flash me." And I said, "Hey, the more I talk to you, the more I get healing." Yes. She's going to be 16. And that man has been defiling her when she was 5.
Wow.
For 5 good years.
Wow.
And when he raped her, he would beat her.
So what you're saying is that speaking out actually brings healing.
Yes, speaking out. Victims. Yes. When you speak out, it brings healing to you. Because I tried to confront my stepfather. And he wasn't trying to tell me why he did what he did to me. But when the children find out what he did to me, they went to confront him. They said, "Please beg Patty to forgive me."
At least he had to forgive us.
They had to forgive me. It's a devil work. But I went through so much, 2 engagement call-off. Because I told them I was a victim of sexual abuse. They said they cannot marry somebody that was raped by her mother husband and may cause child 2 engagement call-off.
Wow.
So meant I tried to commit suicide. I dropped out of school. I became a wayward child. I became an alcoholic. All I do is drink, smoke, and go to club.
So there's a place that rejection plays.
Yes.
In the victim's life.
Yes.
Because once you are rejected,
that is it.
Wow.
Because this is something that everybody knows in my family. Why will I now hide it? I won't tell the man. What if tomorrow something happened and it leaked out?
Yes.
Some of my friends know. And I just, okay, let me tell this person. And I was rejected. And I made it bad that I'm not going to get married. Even if I'm going to get married, then I'm not a black person.
You are going to get married.
Yes,
you are going to get married. Definitely.
Now I'm
somebody who is going to love you.
Now I'm trying to consider.
For who you are is going to come and sweep you off your feet. And you are going to say, "I've never been this happy."
Now I'm trying to consider. Because now I'm happy because I'm touching souls.
That's right.
Young girls are coming to me, you know.
Right.
Talking to me, and look at me. One time a club girl, smoker, an alcoholic, that I thought I'm gone. I dropped out of school till I was rescued. I went back to school. I'm a graduate, University of Lagos, sociology, and I can give life. Not life like God give life, but I can give that.
Because you're giving hope,
but
to some hopeless people.
These young girls are drawing strength from my own inner strength.
Definitely.
You understand me? They confide in me. They just say, when you're young, you just say, you're now my elder sister, my mom, and my role model. I say, me, all in one.
You know what? I will tell you something. Even for people that are not victims, or they are actually drawing hope from you too.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Because as you're sitting down, saying your story, I'm saying to myself, okay, what issues do I have now that I'm actually I mean, if somebody has had to deal with all of this and she's still this positive about life and still this bubbly.
No, it wasn't like it didn't come easily.
I know. There's a process to everything. Yes. But what you're showing us is that there's healing, there's hope.
The day I start speaking out publicly,
yes,
that day, there is this strength that came in. Because the more I speak out, the more I do an interview, the more we post, the more people go to insult me. So sometimes I go and I one time when I did one interview and so when it came out and I just get people just tag me. I'll just reading comments, I'll just be crying. I'll just be crying. And I read other comments where I don't comment, where people go and attack them. So there's a childhood friend of mine that went and tagged them and said, people don't know her story. This is what we know about, And part of the thing that killed her mother, after 2 years, my mother found out about my rape. That was when the rape started. Now nobody to protect me.
Okay, so your mom passed on
2 years after.
2 years after.
Then it has nobody to protect
with it.
Yes, because she moved me out of the house to stay with her uncle.
Yeah,
took me to the village. I have to do ukwan, that traditional cleansing. I was the only one that had to go tie white cloth, took me to do a bath and stuff like that. While her husband was in the house, I just did something and gave to him to eat. If he had gone to the village, they would have made him dance naked. So she's protecting him. Wow. While I went to do this thing. 2 years after she died. I came back to the house, but my uncle's wife don't want me anymore in her house. So I have to come back to the house. Rape continue.
Because, what you have just said is very interesting. Because I'm sure at the back of your uncle's wife's mind was, this is somebody who can take my husband or something. Because I don't understand.
She don't naturally
let you stay in the house.
No, she don't even want anybody around my uncle, both male and female. So she don't want anybody. So it's not because of this, you understand? So it's not male and female. She doesn't want anybody. But just go. Just me and my husband. I'm just newlywed. I went back to the house. And the rape continued. That when I started running away from the house. Nobody to save me again, nobody to protect me. I became an alcoholic.
When did the rape stop?
I wonder that before I was 16. At the age of at the age of 17.
So even after his wife died?
Yes. My mother was in the mortuary, was raping me. So nobody to protect me anymore. And because rape in Nigeria, everybody think they know about rape. And they've been doing this rape the wrong way. What are you teaching mother? What are you teaching mother that's making her children vulnerable to rape? You live in a compound where you have boys. They don't have girlfriend. They smoke, they don't do anything. You bring your baby diaper, open your baby diaper to change your baby diapers. When they see that thing that they see will not enter their heart. When they can't rape that child, they look for the next child to rape. Wow. So these are a lot of mistakes that mothers are doing that exposing their children to rape. As a young girl, what are you doing that is making you vulnerable to rape? As a victim, why are you silent? Why do you let someone mockery, someone that cannot even take care of themselves, that don't have a story, stop you from telling your story, from telling your truth? So when you know all these things, you advise mother, advise victim, advise society what it means not to mock a victim. It's not like somebody that is sick, you're mocking the person that this person is sick. It's the same thing when a victim come out to speak out, you're mocking that victim. You don't know what that victim is going through. This is the reason why a lot of victims, at the end of the day, don't have people to confide in. They end up committing suicide. They become a drug addict. They become prostitute. They end up finding comfort in the wrong hand that end up defiling them all over and all over again. So when you understand this, when you understand what rape is all about, how you can protect your children, won't be the right way. I'm going to protect both the boy and the girl child.
Yes.
Because boys too are sodomized. A lot of young boys have been sodomized.
Wow. Thank you, Fatima.
Thank you for having me.
Sharing your story with us. I mean, this has been an amazing time. And you heard it from her. Protect your children. The girls are at risk. The boys are at risk. I pray that we can see the signs and we can all together work to end rape and child molestation in our society. Until we come your way again on the Now Show, I am your regular host, Abosede Oza Osho, signing off with my sister,
Thank
Fatima
you for
Ada
having me.
Ishaku.